What's up, everybody? We're the KC Boys. My name is Chase.
I'm Kyle.
I'm Steven. And today, right here, we have a multi-award-winning actor, a director, a producer, a tech guy, a website designer, an entrepreneur. I will keep going. A fellow hustler, a creative mind, a dog dad,
Don't stop.
a
I'm almost
husband,
there.
and a handsome young man. Ladies and gentlemen, Wild Wild West Elder.
Thank you.
Hey, hell
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a warm welcome.
Yeah,
I
fuck
like
yeah,
it.
baby.
What? That's a lot of hats.
It's just a couple. It's just a
This is
few.
one or two.
You know?
Chase, you want to start with an ad?
Oh, yeah. This episode of the KC Boys podcast, which doesn't have a name. People have asked me what our podcast is called, and I tell them it's the KC Boys podcast. I don't know.
I didn't know we needed a name.
Right.
Damn.
It's brought to you by the 2024 Sexy Mover Calendar. For
Oh,
those of you
my
baby.
goodness.
who may or may not have a blue collar vibe fantasy, you've searched those things. I don't know where. But you also need to keep track of your schedule. This is the product for you.
We call that a good old-fashioned twofer.
Good old fashioned twofer. 12 wonderful pictures themed for each month, along with the calendar. Help support small business. Help support your boys. Help us keep being able to keep bringing you quality content. Quality. Let me put that in quotes right there. Quality content. Get yours to get yours, or for that friend in your life or you who you think would enjoy a Sexy Mover calendar. This is the last one ever. The Sexy Mover days are behind us. So, yeah.
Good riddance, I say.
What value that product? My goodness.
I've gone through it. It's great value.
Yeah, fuck yeah, baby.
Hell
All I'm
yes.
gonna say is that it showed up with some of the pages stuck together from the delivery guys. So I don't know how that happened.
That
if it was
actually
a
did happen.
printing error or what, but they couldn't
Okay.
help themselves. All right, Steven.
Let's get right up into this, Wes. What got you into the world of entertainment?
Dude, man. Okay, all right. Actually, I probably haven't told you guys this story yet. So I studied in Argentina for 2 years, right out of high school, actually.
Damn.
I'm getting
So,
Argentina.
I lived there for 2 years. Yo hablo español.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Bastante
sick.
bien. Sí.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
muy
about
bi-
you,
yeah, muy
our
bien. Fuck
resident
yeah, baby.
Lomas?
I am.
Caliente.
My parents are. My
Latino?
dad is Latino, and
Ooh.
¿Cómo estás?
¿Cómo estás? Muy bien. Muito bem. Muito bem.
Hey.
No, yeah.
Gracias.
So I
Mucho.
So I lived there for 2 years, studied there, and when I was down, I wanted to be a dentist actually beforehand.
So random.
It is
What's your
random.
problem, dude?
Well, the reason for that is down the street from where I grew up, there was a mansion on my street, and the guy that worked there, lived there, was a dentist. And I
Inspired
was
you as
like-
a kid.
It was inspiring. So
Yeah.
I was like, that's what I'm
I was
going
about to
for.
say you're way too creative for that.
Yeah, and but anyway, when I was in Argentina, I had a really random opportunity to audition for a theater group down there, and I was not like a creative kid growing up at all. Like this
Okay.
was very different. But
Oh,
I
I
was
was. Very.
cool.
Yeah, thanks.
Not me.
Not
Dentist.
me either, still not.
Dentist. And C to D kid. And so
Oh, wow.
anyway,
You don't look it.
yeah.
No offense.
But that changed actually after Argentina. And then anyway, so I auditioned, and I think I think I was like pretty good, and they cast me also because like I was American and I was fluent in Spanish by this point, and so it was like a unique thing to be like
Yeah.
have a gringo be a part of
I don't
it.
mean to interrupt, but how did you keep that? Do you
The
use it?
Spanish?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had 3 years in high school, and then immersion for like 2 years, and like I preach like if you want to be fluent, like you need to go live somewhere.
Yep.
For like at least 6 months, like and you can probably start to pick it up. But yeah, I mean I try to practice and keep up. I was in Tenerife, Canary Islands this past year, and just like that, like
That's all
I'm
Spanish
back.
speaking down there?
That's so
Yeah.
Okay.
cool.
Very cool.
Canary Islands are off the coast of Africa, but they're owned by Spain. They're
Okay.
Spain's Hawaii, basically.
Okay.
The more you know.
So they all speak Spanish there. So there you go.
C's and D's my ass.
Yeah. So anyway, so I got cast in this theater thing, and then that was a lot of fun. We would like tour Argentina, like once a month for like 10 days, and like play at a bunch of random, do the show at like a bunch of random places. And then
What? Theater?
Yeah,
Oh,
it
yeah.
was like theater. It was like a theater show, and then I came back, and I was like, I think I want to do acting. I think that's
Yeah.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
And so then I transferred to like a university, UNC Wilmington of North Carolina, and
Mhm.
I got a theater performance degree. I doubled in comm studies and theater performance. Comm studies as a backup.
What is that? Communications?
Communication
Okay.
studies. It's like the vanilla, like you can kind of do anything with
Okay.
this degree. But when I was still in college, I auditioned. I came back and then I auditioned for a movie. It was like a crappy Christian movie, and I got cast as lead role in it. And
Wow.
movie sucked.
Casual.
but it was a long shoot. It was like 28 days. And that was like my film degree right there. And I learned, I mean, like even when I wasn't supposed to be on set, because like I didn't have scenes, I would go to set to just watch like what they're doing, pick up on lingo. And then that's where I met like my current collaborators, Caleb and Corey Vetter. Corey was like the DP, director of photography on it. Caleb was a assistant camera on it. And then soon after that, we were like, we should make a movie together.
Dude, that's so tight.
Wow.
That you just got into it and you weren't scared to pivot. You weren't scared to say, this is more interesting. I'm just going to send it.
Yeah. I mean, it was like weird to come home from Argentina and tell mom and dad, like, I think I want to be an actor.
Yeah.
They were like,
what happened down there?
You were going to be a dentist. You were going to take care of us.
So why did you go to Argentina?
I did this like this institute down there that I had kind of a mentor growing up that he was a part of it, and he was like, yeah, as I said, I was like a CD kid in high school, so like I didn't really know what I wanted to do, so to have an opportunity to go to Argentina and live abroad and learn Spanish right off the bat, I was like, yeah, why not? Like, and it wasn't really contingent on grades and stuff. But, like, it totally radically changed me. And then when I came back, like, I was a 4.0 GPA at, like, university.
It lit a spark in you, dude.
Yeah, like if you're around me, the more you're around me, like, that was a very pivotal moment in my life.
But why, why go? Like, I know I wanted to. I was too scared. You know what I mean? I'm big and strong, but I'm a puss. Like, was there something going on at home where you was like, I got to get up out of here? Like, why'd you do it?
No, it wasn't. No, it was totally, I think it just sounded cool, honestly. It sounded different than, I mean, everybody else was going to, you know, Chapel Hill and Duke University or whatever. I'm from North Carolina originally.
I was going to say from the East Coast.
Yeah, from North Carolina. Duke. And so, you know, everybody was kind of just doing the kind of normal college thing. And I didn't want to do community college because like that would have been the route I would have to take with my like grades in high school. And so I was like, well, yeah, why not? I had gone to Spain before that in senior year of high school, so I had done a little bit. I had seen a little bit of the world, and I liked that. And I liked Spanish, too. Like, I had done 3 years in high school. Like, I did enjoy Spanish. Yeah. So to think, like, oh, I could go do this and, like, be fluent, you know, that at the time, like, that was a very, like, sought-after skill. You know, I mean, there's a lot more Spanish-speaking people in the country now, probably because of doing stuff like I did, but at the time, like that was, I think, a little bit less common. Yeah. So I think that it was like, I think probably the biggest reason was like fluent in Spanish. That'll be valuable. Yeah. I don't know what I'll do with that. Valuable. I don't know what I'll do with that, but that'll be valuable. So
pick up some Latina girls.
Some
hey,
Latina.
Hola.
I mean, yeah, if you want that, Brazil, that's like the country. Everybody's beautiful there. Everybody
in Brazil.
Everybody. It was like.
Keep Chase away from there.
I met a Brazilian once.
It was like like on the campus that I was at, it was like we counted one time. It was like 42 Spanish countries represented, and all the pretty people were always Brazilian. Always.
Oh, okay. I would love to go to Brazil. Yeah. That'd be so freaking cool.
I would love to go to Brazilian. I'm in Brazil.
Brazil.
Okay. So what advice do you have for those wanting to get into acting?
Dude, that is a really good
question.
Me.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's me. What is your advice?
I mean, honestly, you guys are doing, like, the right thing of what I tell people to do now. I say, why wait to be an actor when you can record skits and post them online? Like, you don't have to wait anymore for anybody to tell you to be an actor. Yep. But I will say, like, if it's like, no, I want to, like, go make movies or I want to make TV, then or, like, if I really want to make it, like, if I want to be more than just the guest star or the background player, then I'm always telling people to learn to write and produce, and because if you don't have to wait around for anybody to cast you, then it's a much higher chance that you're gonna make it.
Oh, on the lead role.
You're talking about writing your own movie, getting it picked up by somebody, and then casting yourself as the
write your own script, cast yourself in the lead role, and find a way to produce it yourself. Yeah. And I mean, it's only becoming easier with technology, and you know, I mean, we couldn't do a podcast studio like this, 10 years ago, but
look at us now.
Look at us now.
We ain't shit.
Look at us,
these cool things.
Idiots just throwing up a podcast in a basement.
And so
some stapled on foam.
And so I do tell people that if it's like you don't want to do that, then I encourage people to join Facebook groups. Actually, surprisingly,
Really?
Facebook groups. What are you
yeah.
talking about?
So like, go on Facebook and in your like whatever your like nearest hub is. So like we're in Kansas City, but like Atlanta or whatever the big city is nearby. Like go on there and search actors or filmmakers in your area Facebook groups. Because that's the easiest way to find some of the earliest auditions. People post there for short films. They'll post there for commercials. Sometimes they'll post for movies.
Very cool.
And you don't need an agent to access this stuff.
Mhm.
It's like you would be surprised how many opportunities there are on Facebook groups.
Okay.
So
Wow.
that's a very
Just-
tangible thing that everybody
Yeah.
can do right now.
Literally anybody and everybody.
Anybody can do that right now.
Because I'm not gonna lie, I have gone to a couple theater productions here in Kansas City, and I was blown away. And I was like, "Fuck, dude! If I'm thinking about getting into acting, that's sort of the route. You get in with the people, you find out who's making the live theater. But these are some incredibly talented people. And I'm
Yeah.
not gonna speak for the group, but I am a talentless hack.
Oh,
I can't
bro.
sing.
No,
I
you're
can't do
great.
nothing. So I was like, everybody here can sing. I was like, damn. So I felt overwhelmed when I started thinking about trying to get into acting.
Well, and that's why, like, I mean, it's a bit more of a difficult, maybe entrepreneurial endeavor, but that's why I encourage people to make your own stuff. Like, why wait?
Right.
Why go put yourself in front of these casting directors when there's 40 other dudes that have peaches like you guys and like mullets,
Mhm.
and it's like, what, how do you stand out? It's an odds game.
Yeah.
It's an odds game, and so I've always been. I mean, look at me. I'm like the guy next door, best friend, like skinny, quirky character. How many lead roles are there for a guy like me? But like, well, if I write my own role,
That's perfect.
then it exists.
Very
and
intuitive.
I don't need to wait for anybody. So, but it's just a different path.
I love it, dude. Yeah, that's actually taking the chance out of it, making it happen for yourself.
I mean, if you start paying attention to like your favorite TV shows and your favorite movies and stuff, and you actually pay attention to the credits, especially comedy, you'll notice that oftentimes the cast are producers on the show, or
I've
they're a
noticed that.
writer. The Office was like huge on this. Mindy Kaling was a writer. BJ Novak, a bunch of those. Toby
Yep,
was a writer,
Toby.
which is really random
Paul
but hilarious.
Lieberstein?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's if you start looking at it, that's how people hack the
Yep.
system.
That's very cool. And obviously it makes perfect sense, but yeah, I never even thought about
But
that.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I've noticed that with especially like Seth Rogen. Like any movie he's in, he's always like a writer, producer, like the
Always.
one making the shots because he plays the same character every movie he's in.
Always. Him and like Adam
Steve.
Sandler are like they are the quintessential like I make my own movies and I cast myself and I play the same thing and people like it.
And it's
Dude,
fun.
that's
And
like
it
a
fucking
little dream
works.
of mine to be able to do something like that. That'd be so freaking cool.
All your characters would always have mullets and peaches.
Hey, we're kind of in the middle.
That's
of
like
it.
the
We're
first
making it
line
happen.
you put in the script. He's like, "There's a guy, and he's
Mullets
got a
and booty
mullet
cheeks.
and a big butt."
And Adam Sandler always brings his homies with him. So hey, every single movie you
There
watch
you go.
from the 90s, early 2000s, it's always the same 5 dudes. It's
This man's
so
living my dream.
funny. Yeah, he's
Dude.
a gangster, man.
You could get in with that squad probably.
I need to hit him up right now. I'm going to DM him.
Yeah.
Hey,
But I don't know. Hey, he's
answering
big
those.
into like hanging out with like regular people and like he's always playing pickup basketball games. We can just go to the court in New York.
Oh, he ain't trying to get
Yeah.
hooped on. He's too old. Back when he was younger, maybe he ain't trying to get hooped on.
I would hate to snatch Adam Sandler's ankles.
Right.
I don't want to do all that. Wes, what are you more passionate about, acting or producing?
Acting for sure. I mean, acting for sure. It's always been so like, and not even. I would say like, I enjoy the creative. So more often than not, it is something like I want to be performing. I want to be acting. I enjoy directing. I enjoy writing. The producing, like the business side of it, has always been to fuel that.
yeah.
It's always a means to an
wow.
end, right?
Smart.
Especially like if you meet directors and stuff, a lot of directors will be editors, and that's because they edit out of necessity to fuel the directing,
Yeah.
right? And so that's been my path for sure. Has been like I do a lot of that other stuff because it starts off with like, man, what about a story that's this? Like I have an idea for something, and then it's like, well, how do I get that made? And so producing's always been a means and a fuel to just make the ideas come to fruition. I don't really
Wow.
like the goal is like I don't produce actually, and I think I'm hitting that actually now. Like I'm finally reaching that level where
Mhm.
like I can have an idea and then like I can find producer friends and they'll produce so that I can just focus on the creative.
I mean, who's more well known, the actors or the producers in the industry?
Well,
So,
you know what's funny is the actors, but when you win the Best Picture award, the person that accepts it is the producer.
producer.
Okay, so here's a question. I don't know if Steven had this lined up, but what is the difference between a producer and like say like a director?
Yeah. So the simplest way, directors focus pretty much on the creative and the story, right? So they're working with actors on performance. They're working on, they're working with the writer to make sure the script is where it needs to be. Working with the director of photography to get the creative shots that they want to fulfill the vision, right? Producers are managers, basically. They're the people that manage the money, that source the money. They're the people that organize it all. They're working with spreadsheets. They're, hiring crew and hiring talent and stuff like that. So they're just like, they're like the business side of it all. But producers are essential because they're the ones that make it happen usually. Like a director may have a great idea or a great script, but unless a producer comes along and validates it, and it's like, you do have a great script and you do have an idea, then it doesn't actually go anywhere. So they're usually where it all begins, but they usually play a back seat to, how it all happens. And there's different levels of producers. Like, you'll see executive producer. That can kind of mean anything. Like, if you work at a studio, like you're a Sony executive, like you could be called an executive producer just because you worked at Sony or whatever studio that had the movie, or you had a relationship with this actor and you got that actor on the movie because of your relationship, so you get an executive producer credit. There's a lot of, it's kind of like the catch-all, but or you gave money, you invested, so you're an executive producer.
Oh,
So if you're making a small film, I assume a person making a small film, it would be very easy. Oftentimes, they would be all of these roles. They would be the actor. They would be the director, helping their friends, tell them, you're going to do this, I'm going to do this. Here's the lines. They're writing the script. They're then probably editing it and producing. They're bringing it all together. So they're going to be wearing all those hats simultaneously.
And they may not even claim all those hats in the credits. Like it's a little cheesy to see like, oh, Wes Elder, the actor, producer, writer, wardrobe, props manager, even
Painted
though you,
all over
you
the
did
screen,
do all that
name.
stuff behind the scenes, right? And so typically, the easiest way to see like where the movie was birthed in the credits is when the title just producer. Like if that's just their credit and title, that's usually the person where it all began. When it's just the boring producer label.
Because it's so hard. I know, like, even just, and obviously this is the most minimal scale, so I can only assume everything gets harder, more convoluted and blown up, is like, even like if we have a skit that we know is the final skit's going to be under a minute. Yeah. It's getting it conceptualized from here's my idea to here's what we actually record and then edit, and here's what the final little story is. It's very hard to have something in your mind and get it across, let alone every piece of dialogue, every scene to tell a whole story. It just seems...
Yeah, I mean, like for you guys, if you have a skit that you want to do and you're like, well, okay, we know it needs to be in a diner, and then you go talk to the person who owns the diner and you're like, okay, we need some props for this. Like once you start doing that stuff, you're producing.
Okay.
That's what that is.
Yeah.
On the small scale. Once, you get into like the multi-millions, then when you're having meetings with studio executives and stuff, that's what producing can be. Then you're not actually going and buying props at Walmart or whatever. But that it's all different, levels and scales basically. Yeah. So
that is so tight, and it gets big. It's as
big as it gets. Yeah. Unlimited amount of money.
Yeah. It does. It really does.
Just to keep this applicable to us, Wes. Considering your experience in film, what's your preference? Narrow or wide stance when you squat ATG?
Definitely wide.
You're a wide stance.
This man, Steven, is a caveman. He's an idiot.
That's
there goes the trick question.
It depends on the mood.
He answered well, though.
Yeah,
I respect it.
Great answer. What's a mockumentary?
A mockumentary?
Uh-huh.
Oh, did I send you that link to that thing? Okay, cool.
It was very good.
Oh, good. Thanks for the feedback. A mockumentary.
He was blown away by it.
Yeah,
I didn't watch it, but he was blown away by it.
Oh, cool, sweet.
Come on,
that's a fun.
I was busy.
That's a fun one too, because that's just a trailer. Like we literally shot it as a trailer.
Okay,
and so that's how I wrote it. Nothing else exists except for that trailer.
Yeah.
But if
Was there a certain hope you were looking for when you did that?
we wanted to pitch that. Yeah, we wanted to pitch that. For context, it was a show called Bad News, and it was a mockumentary about a news station that is failing, gets bought, and then this new new company's trying to fix the news station. But right as they're trying to bring it back and modernize it and fix it, everybody discovers that a meteor is coming for Earth and is going to kill everybody. So how do they continue this news station knowing impending doom is coming?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
That's good shit.
And
Good
that
story.
was your idea?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, baby.
I could never personally. I could
Personally, it's
never.
way too creative for me.
Yeah, I mean, it was gonna get even crazier too, and so we shot that, and it went viral on TikTok. I posted it on TikTok, and it got some good traction there. And then I had a couple production companies reach out about possibly working with us on it to get it pitched and stuff. But honestly, I got busy with other stuff and then haven't touched it in a while, honestly.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the question.
What's a mockumentary?
Oh, a mockumentary is a fake documentary.
Fake documentary.
It's
You're
a fake-
mocking documentaries
Yeah.
is what's going on
The
here?
Office, Parks and Rec,
Mhm.
those are mockumentaries.
Okay.
What We Do in the Shadows,
Really?
those are mockumentaries where it's shot like a documentary, where you got the interviews, and then you got the scenes, and
Like
the,
they're
the
kinda
cam-
following
the
them
ca-
around.
They're following around, shake the
Okay.
camera, and the camera zooms in on them, and then they
Mhm.
look at it awkward and uncomfortable. Exactly. That's a mockumentary, and
Okay.
so
Good stuff, mockumentaries.
Yeah, mockumentaries I love and think are freaking hilarious, and I would like for there to be a resurgence.
Yeah.
So
Fucking make it happen. You're the man to make it
Ah,
happen.
yeah.
Chase's favorite show is The Office.
tell me more about The Office.
Yeah, nobody's ever seen it, so they've won in it. Yeah. No, I love The Office. That shit hits home. Yeah. I'll be theorizing
Yeah.
about these characters and who they are.
Yeah.
Like how they do about anime, I'll be theorizing about
It's
Office
just comfort,
characters.
man. It's like I felt like it was the new sitcom.
Yep.
It was comforting. You can have it on in the
You just put
background.
it on.
It's casual
Did you
and low pressure.
took my damn latte? Son of a.
Run the footage back. What happened to his coffee?
Oh, and he hit it. I see.
No, I killed it and then
And then hit it. He killed it and then hit it.
Dang it.
You had it coming by taking that long, buddy.
That's fair and squares as far as I'm concerned.
That's
Yeah,
true.
hand me yours.
I killed mine already.
Wes, have you worked with anybody famous, considering your line of work?
Let's see. Yeah, I guess it depends on what you define as famous now.
People we would know.
People
Maybe household names. Is that
you-
too famous?
No, that's not too famous. I'm trying to think. Yes. I mean, in our movie that we had, the Matchbreaker, we had Olin Rogers in it, who he now has his TBS, or I guess it just wrapped up, but he had a show on TBS called Final Space, and that was pretty big. Tessa Violet, a lot of people know who Tessa Violet is. She's a
I definitely recognize that name.
she's a
No, it's not
musician.
Tesla. Tessa.
Tessa.
Tessa Violet. She's like OG YouTube turned musician.
Pull up a picture because I'm trying to see.
She's got
Olin
yellow.
Rogers
She's got like
and Tessa
she's got like yellow hair.
yes, she sings a song called
Crush.
"Crush." I know "Crush."
There you go. So like worked with her, and then we've had like little small things where we've had people involved and stuff like that. Nobody like crazy famous though. I guess right now I'm helping with this movie that has I mean I can't say who yet, but like it's got some actors from like Orange is the New Black and Yellowstone that
Ooh, very popular shows.
yeah, pretty popular shows. That there's a guy in it from Ted Lasso that people would know.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'd know their names necessarily, but
But recognize their face.
but they're like part of the lead cast in those shows,
Yep.
and you would see them, and you'd be like, oh.
very cool.
So
And I assume those sort of relationships, connections, people you get to work with is only growing the more time that goes
yeah,
by.
I mean at this point, yeah, and it it becomes a lot less mystical the more you meet
Yeah.
people and stuff like that, and you guys have probably experienced that too, of like just talking to different people in the entertainment industry. The more you talk to them, the more you're like, oh, they live in a house exactly
Yep.
like mine, and their lives are really not that much different.
And he's right
actually.
here. He's the
He's
one.
the one. He's right here. And he's right
Hi.
here. It's me.
I have. I don't want to cut you off. Yeah.
No, please. Please
cuts,
cut me off.
Cuts through the.
Cut me off.
Cuts through the. They are real people, just regular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really not. I mean, and social media has really changed that too. Like when somebody posts a story in their normal house, you're like, oh, they're really
Mhm.
like
There's so many more
Not-
famous people nowadays.
not that different. Really not that different.
Just living life.
Yep.
I've seen like the OG real celebrities, like movies and stuff, like getting upset that like people from YouTube and like social media stars are becoming like so famous, and I've seen them like interviewed complaining
Yeah.
about the dilution of fame,
Yep.
which
yeah.
is kind of weird, but whatever.
I mean,
Interesting.
movie stars don't exist anymore. There's only like I used to say Leonardo DiCaprio was the last movie star, but even he's starting to do streaming movies, which I personally think is diluting his star power. And
What would you consider a movie star? Being in theaters, or what you mean?
a movie star is somebody who, they can make people purchase a movie
Watch
Just
a
by
movie
being in
just
it.
by being
just
in
by
it.
being.
Oh
there.
yes, I see what you
Like
mean.
that's a movie star.
I mean, that's still a thing on Apple, purchasing a movie, renting a movie,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, but like just off their name, like the story doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
It's their.
They're gonna go see it.
It's they're in it, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
go see it.
Yeah.
The last time that happened was for me was The Revenant. I didn't know anything about the movie, but I knew Leonardo DiCaprio was in it, and people were saying it's probably his best role ever. And I was like, "Yep, I'm going to see it." And I watched it, and it was a good movie.
Yep.
It wasn't
yeah.
all that, but it was good.
I mean,
I don't think it was Oscar winning
Jeremy
worthy,
Allen
but-
White, for example, super trendy, super popular right now, super talented. Not that many people are going to see The Iron Claw though. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's an indie movie. It's a
Mhm.
great movie, but like, it's not breaking box office records. And I mean, it's got Zac Efron too. Zac Efron's like a good name, but like,
Household name, yeah.
the
Mhm.
movie's doing
If
just
Zach is in it, I'm watching it.
okay. I mean, me too.
Yeah.
But
For hot.
Even though he looks completely different than what
Yeah,
he
what's
did
up
like
with
10
that?
years ago. I don't know
Yeah.
what
Hold
happened
on,
with
but still
that.
hot?
I mean,
In a
come
different
on, Zac Efron.
way though.
He's much
in a
more
different way.
masculine now.
Before
Yeah.
he
Yeah. Strong
was
jaw.
like
Dude, he's
like
bulky.
Preston Krause, like kind of like feminine but hot.
yeah.
But and now he's more like manly man but hot chiseled jawline
he
because
is
Hey.
bulky.
Yeah.
Bulky.
Speaking of manly man, what's your starter Pokemon?
It was always the fire type.
Same.
Yeah.
Charizard.
It was always the
and
fire
Inferno.
Am I
type.
the only
Charmander.
Squirtle here.
You're the only one, yeah.
It's water every time for me.
Yeah, you're gonna beat all three of us by yourself, though. Damn it.
Yeah, it was always the fire type, which always feels like a scapegoat, like a cop out.
Yep, I always
Yeah.
thought the fire type
Yeah.
people were compensating.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought,
Well,
man,
to be fair, it's really you only got fire and water. No one ever picks grass.
No one ever picks grass. No one ever picks grass.
That's a good
No.
point, Kyle.
All
You
the time.
freaking idiot.
I would do Pikachu though on the Pikachu game because
Yeah.
you got to do Pikachu.
Yeah,
Like, how
Pikachu's
can you
gangster.
not? So
Yeah. yeah,
yeah,
same.
you got to do that.
Pikachu's my favorite because
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for main characters. You said you traveled a lot for school and to get into your profession. Has your profession brought you anywhere cool? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Let's see here. I mean, I was just in, as I said, Tenerife a couple months ago, Canary Islands, and that was cool. I mean, around the U.S., like all the time, that stuff happens very regularly. International, I feel like more recently, things have been coming up to where that could be a possibility to go places. And we've got some projects that we're developing and pitching, specifically one right now that would be a very international heavy.
Show Kyle where that is.
it's off. It's kind of is that Morocco?
But point it at me, though.
It's,
Western Sahara.
Okay, so Western Sahara too, like you don't want to go there. Like
But Morocco's nice, right?
Morocco's okay.
Morocco.
Morocco's okay. The Canary Islands okay. You don't want to go to Western Sahara. That's like when when I was there, I was like, what if we just like go? What's like close? Like what if
Yeah.
we just skip over there? You know?
I've heard of geography.
And
I'm
I've heard of
imagining.
geography.
I'm imagining AK-47s for some reason.
There's mines
I've experienced with that.
everywhere in the Western Sahara. You don't
Yeah.
want to go there.
Mm-mm.
I illegally crossed the border to go into Mexico with my mom, and just by accident.
No, that's okay.
Were you heading north or south?
Couldn't tell you. We were out and about just exploring because we're there. We might as well explore. By the way, traffic laws don't exist there.
Yeah.
No,
It's
they
a
don't.
shit show.
Traffic
Yeah.
suggestions.
There, yeah. There's potholes big enough to fit apartment complexes in. But anyway, we were walking
Yep.
about. This person had a litter of like kitties or something we were looking at. We got rolled up by some cops holding some AK-47s just casually. They was like, "What the hell are you guys doing?" He was like, "Hey, we're visiting family. We got to go." And we dipped out, and it was a whole nightmare getting back over the border, but it ended up happening.
I remember that story. You had
Yeah.
Anisha with you, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
it's
Dude,
true.
that sounds like a good time.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it was her. She was driving and just took a wrong turn and went through the border. Just
That's what I've heard
casually.
about Mexico is like, yeah, you don't want to take a wrong turn
Mhm.
in Mexico.
Juarez.
That was to get into Mexico, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Boy, is
Yeah, that
sneaking
was,
into Mexico.
Yeah.
Oh, you were heading south. Yeah, that's why I asked.
Yeah.
Were you heading north or south?
No, we're heading south. So that was kind of weird. What's the hardest part of your line of work?
Oh.
For me, would be learning lines and shit.
No, I mean, yeah, I mean, the acting side, is always like the more time you have to put into it, the better it's gonna be. It's definitely one of those things.
Yep.
Like if you if you know who Michael Caine is, like he's like obviously a very prolific actor, but like he also really likes teaching teaching the profession of acting, and he would have this thing where he would memorize so much to where he would know everybody's lines.
Mm-hmm.
And
Wow.
it was like
Stevie,
it was like water,
it's
like
crazy,
it,
yeah.
it was no debate about what the line is, because once you know it that well, then you know how many different ways you can take it, right? So
Sorry to cut you off, but this is very important. I
Yeah,
saw a video. Chase, is it Hermione, the actress, the player the person in Harry Potter?
Mhm.
Hermione?
Yeah.
She was over here
Emma
lipping
Watson.
everybody else's line during
Yeah.
live shots. Not live, but actual
saw that.
shots. I thought that was funny.
Will
so.
Smith did that too in the beginning of
Will Smith did?
in Fresh Prince. Yep, he did the same thing.
So he was a hyper active
Yeah.
learner, and
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah, because he wasn't.
you
he
would
wasn't,
think,
he
but-
wasn't really. If you actually looking at how he got cast in Fresh Prince, he wasn't. He really wasn't an actor at the time. He was a rapper.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You would
And-
think his lifestyle, he'd be doing the bare minimum, just showing up. But damn,
And so
that's
he,
gangster.
So he, he would know. He would know everybody's lines, so he'd be lipping it because it would help him get
Mhm.
through the script. He doesn't do that like as the show progresses, but like in that first season, if you watch him, he's over there like
He was just studying.
And
the
it made
work.
some of the final cuts.
yeah, oh yeah,
Damn.
yeah, it's in the show, yeah,
That's
like
crazy.
several times.
I never really did get into Fresh Prince of Bel-Air
Really?
for some
Yeah.
reason. I was always stuck on
I
Dragon
never,
Ball Z.
I never watched it like all the way through, but like as a kid, it was always on late night, and I would just
Mhm.
watch whatever episode was on TV.
Yeah,
Which is, I'm sure I've seen probably most of the show.
yeah,
Not to be unprofessional, but I'm a father before I'm a podcaster.
dude, it's all good.
He was being a dad.
I love doing what we were able to do. I'm telling you
Yeah.
what.
Wes, how the heck did you pull a Netflix gig?
Okay, so we made this movie called The Matchbreaker. You can Google it.
Instead of Matchmaker, he's a
Matchbreaker.
Matchbreaker, which I just put 1 and 2 together earlier, and you might see that upon my face
yeah,
if
Yeah.
you look back.
it's
So-
about a guy that gets hired to break up girls' relationships.
And this was your original idea?
Yeah, this was this was more of a group effort in the
Okay.
beginning, between me and Caleb and Corey. And the movie was originally called So Broken Up. Actually, that was the original title, and the
Okay.
tagline was Meet the Matchbreaker. And as we were pitching it, people were like, "That you should call it that."
Yeah.
And we
Matchbreaker.
were like, "Yeah, you're right. That is that is a
Yeah.
better name." But anyway, so we made that movie independently. So we had some private money that like was mostly friends and family. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't like investors.
That's what I was gonna ask. How do you get people to believe in you if you don't have anything like a track record? to
Yeah, when you
show?
have nothing to show, mom and dad.
Yeah,
Um,
very cool.
and so we had a little bit of money, not a lot of money, and we just started like the goal. I mean, the goal was super simple at the time. Was like, hey, we should make a movie. You be the lead actor. He'll be the cinematographer, and he'll be the director. Right? That was the goal. And the original goal was to do it for like $10,000. Like,
Yeah.
it's just because we had each individually made a couple like really low, like $10,000 movies, super low budget. So
Mhm.
we already knew how to do that.
That's a YouTube video for some people.
Yeah, yeah, I know. There's a variety of tricks to do to do that.
There's levels to that shit.
Yeah. And so then when we started to do it, it started to grow and develop, and we're like, well, what if we contact some people and get them to be involved? And then we did that, and then I think like the first person to commit was I think it was Osric Chow. He's in Supernatural. If you ever watched Supernatural.
Which one
And,
is he in Supernatural?
I've seen a few episodes.
he's Kevin. He's the Asian guy. He's in like seasons, like he's in multiple seasons. And he's like a critical character for a while. I'm trying to remember what his name is. I can't remember. I'll have to look it up. But he was the first one to commit.
Almost.
Oh, so where did you get this?
This was from Amazon, I believe. I got it for Christmas from Alex.
This makes me feel a lot less special now.
Because you don't
'Cause
have.
you know where I got mine? I got it in the Canary Islands this past summer.
Really?
And these little beads,
You Amazon
these
bitch.
little beads
Are they earth stones or something?
molten lava.
Yeah.
And because there's a volcano on Tenerife. And when I was buying it from a little vendor, I was like, "Is that like actual? Is that like
Oh, yeah.
actual lava?" And they're like, "Yeah,
Straight from over there.
straight from over there." I was
Straight from the Amazon.
and I was like, "All right, great, give me 3." And you've got some of those beads right there.
Yep, I got them right here from Amazon, but mine is cooler. I've got the planet Earth and all of its, brothers in the solar system.
We're twinning a little bit.
Cute.
But anyway, Netflix. So we got people attached. As people started to get attached, we were like, maybe we should put more money into this. And then we got more money from.
Was that the goal though, or was
No.
you just going?
It was ballooning.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
No, the goal was not. The goal was like, let's just make a movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like
A feature-length film.
just a couple buddies and let's make a movie.
Yeah.
And let's do that. And then it started to balloon. But the cool thing is, as that happened, then it became that much better.
Yeah.
Right. And so.
Well, hold on. So, because what was the goal with just making a movie? Was it to have fun? Was it to have?
Yeah.
What? Just to have fun?
Naivete. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
It was to have fun. This was before anything was.
Was you gonna post it anywhere?
This is like way before anything was strategic. This was.
You
we
just
didn't
wanted
have
to
a
make a movie.
We
for
didn't
the-
have a plan.
Yeah.
We just wanted to make a movie.
So you're just gonna have a little tape to look back on when you're older?
Yep. I mean,
Okay.
and this is also like, this is 2015. So like, posting stuff like that on YouTube and stuff was not. People obviously were blowing up on YouTube, but like that was the content was not that level yet.
Right.
This is like daily vlog era still.
Mm-hmm.
And so like our lead cast was like me, and then Christina Grimmie, Tessa Violet, Olin Rogers, Isaac Chow, and then some other people who had like done some stuff, like like if you see their face, you might recognize them type people. And once we were done, we were like, okay, we cut a trailer for it, and then we sent that trailer out, and we ended up getting real investment. But after the movie was shot, because
Like, well, the hard work's done, bro.
yeah, I know, and so
What would that investment be for? Like distribution or?
yeah, so we got like a check from an investor who like he saw the trailer. He's like, hey, are you guys still taking like you still taking money? And we were
Trying
like,
to get in on this
"Man,
action."
sure, why not? And so yeah, that money ended up being spent on like marketing. We did like a big LA premiere that some of it got spent on. And anyway, so then when the movie was done, we were like, well, we got to get it quickly here, people. So
There we go.
That interruption was brought to you by the 2020
By accident.
By accident, by the 2024 Sexy Mover Calendar. By the way, if you haven't ordered yours yet for that one friend in your life who you know could benefit from keeping their schedule on track,
What are you doing?
get yours. Get yours to get yours, but also get them one so they can get theirs to get yours to get 2024, last one ever and best one ever. We put a tremendous amount of time and effort into producing high quality product here for you folks. Value.
Fuck yeah, baby. Thank you for that, Chase.
Year
Alright.
round.
Now, where were we?
Put that away.
Uh,
Oh yeah, he was saying how he got a second round of investment guy.
We got how we got it on Netflix. So then we got more money in post production while it was being edited, and then we this is how you knew we were young and dumb. We were like, all right, well, let's find a distribution company, because that's what you do. You find a company that will release it into the world. They'll put it in theaters or they'll put it on platforms. So we went literally in LA, knocking on office doors of companies. And you don't do this. Like they don't accept unsolicited submissions.
Right, especially out in crazy land in LA.
No, they don't accept that. But so like Focus Features, for example, like we knocked on their door and they were like, yeah, who is it? We're like, hey, we're here to see blah, blah, blah. And they let us up. And so officers like, oh yeah, who are you meeting with? And we're like, we don't have a meeting actually. Here's like our movie, blah, blah, like, oh.
You sons of bitches.
You're an idiot. And then they kicked us out. And so then after doing that a little bit, I think even like we went to
with
like
no results, I assume.
Yeah,
no,
okay.
no results. I even think we actually went to like Sony's lot.
Of
Yeah.
all people and places and things.
Yeah, like
wow.
we like drove up to it, like, and we're like, hey, we just want.
Yeah,
Who can we
like
talk
now.
to?
It doesn't work that way.
You guys had no idea what you were doing.
Had no idea. Doesn't work. And anyway, through some connections, we met with a guy that does distribution, and at the time he focused on digital, which was like this was like early and innovative at the time. and we worked with him. He liked it. He signed us on to do the distribution for it. We did do a small theatrical run through this thing called Tug, and it was like Kickstarter for like movies.
Okay.
So like you could say, hey, I wanna show your movie at my local theater, and then you sign up and you do that, and then if you sell like I think it was like 50 tickets to the movie, then it'll happen. It'll like have a theater screening
Wow.
at your city or whatever. And we did that. We had like, I don't know, 20 screenings around the country or something like that.
Freaking dope, man.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. That company went under, so I don't think that model really works.
Oops.
But
I like the innovation. I like the trying ways because I mean, you obviously have the big ones. You got the AMC's and you got I don't know how those.
I mean,
I'm sure that's complicated shit.
that's what's really killed it. Is like the AMC independent route. And what's funny, and this is sad. They were actually willing to do the movie too, but we, long story short, misunderstood how it worked, and we said no. We should have said yes.
Yeah.
But
Well, the movie still exists. Tell them.
movie still exists.
Hey, come.
It's totally fine.
Let us play it now.
Yeah, let's do it now. And then we even were talking with YouTube at the time too, because remember they were doing originals,
Mhm.
and there was some interest from them to turn it into a YouTube at the time YouTube Red original. But that wasn't. We said no to that because it wasn't really a great deal. And then no offense YouTube. So then we released it digitally across iTunes and everything. And as that was happening, then we had a Netflix offer where they basically wanted it for 2 years exclusive for North America. They also wanted it for the UK, but we actually passed on the UK because there was other more popular streaming platforms in those other markets and stuff. And we
That
were
you
like,
got it on.
yeah, and then we got it on and got better deals. And so I don't, but I mean, having it on Netflix was like, I mean, that's huge.
Yeah.
Like
It's big as it
Just
gets.
add it to
Yeah.
your resume.
yeah, it's huge to say like, oh yeah, you had a movie on Netflix, and now it's everywhere. I mean, it's in public libraries. Like
Yeah.
somebody-
Netflix?
yeah,
No,
Netflix is.
the movie.
No, the movie itself.
Oh, the movie.
Yeah,
I was
like-
yeah.
Like
Okay.
it's on all the platforms you'd expect it to be on, but it's I mean it's in like libraries, it's in prisons
Yeah.
systems and stuff
Wow.
like that.
Let me
And
ask you.
so-
I think Wes. So obviously, you learned a tremendous amount from that experience and
Yeah.
doing it with your homies and going through all that. Was it a financial success? Did you make any money on it?
Yeah. I
Was
mean,
it profitable?
yeah, it definitely was, and I mean I would say at this point we've 3x'd the money that we put into it,
Dope.
and so you know,
Congrats.
thanks, appreciate it, boom.
Yeah.
And that, that was I mean that money obviously gets split a lot of
Yeah.
different ways
Mhm.
with different people and the distribution company and stuff like that, and iTunes and Amazon and everybody, but as far as like cash came in and cash went out, like yeah, it performed really well. I think it would have performed. I think there's a world where it could have performed even like a lot better. Like I think there is I love Mitch, our distribution partner. I think there is a company that could have taken it and it could have made like a lot of money.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Especially being so early on casting YouTubers. I just think we were. If you look into the movie and you Google it and read about it, like our lead actress passed away right before the movie came out,
Oh,
no.
shit.
and so not having her there, because she was also like our she had like the biggest following at the time, Christina Grimmie, and so not having her there to promote it, I think hurt us
Yeah.
ultimately in the long
definitely.
run.
Definitely.
At the time we were like, well, maybe people will watch the movie now, like we didn't know. And of course people did, but then it became this like weird thing for her audience where I was like,
Yeah.
we love her, but also this is kind of sad, but like the movie's so happy and it's rom-com, and so like it's cheerful.
Mixed
Oh, yeah, I
emotions
can't
just
even
because of the
Think
context.
of the emotions. Of
Yeah.
what they
Yeah,
would
it
do.
was a really weird, and the hardest part about that really is like we were just young filmmakers that didn't know how to handle that. Like when that happens in the studio system, like they're still putting tens and millions of dollars behind the movie, even if somebody
Right.
passes away.
Which
Like,
does happen. Has happened a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I think actually when that happened, Anton Yelkin had just passed too from the freak like accident. He was in the Star Trek movie, and the movie still came out and made
Yep.
hundreds of millions of dollars. You
I
know,
wonder what they do with his cut, if they just directly give it to his family or wife or whatever.
I'm sure they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's all kinds of paperwork that they sign in case
little
of
just in
case of
case.
death.
Yeah.
You know.
Good
type
Well,
of
we
insurance.
live
Great
in that
insurance.
world of, I'm pretty sure this video, there's something just a little bit, like this video could have done way better. We live in that world.
every
yeah. Every day.
single
we
video.
were talking about it right before this.
We'll make a video. I'm like, yeah, this is good shit. This is what they want. This is hits all the things that we try to be mindful of. Nothing.
Yeah.
So we live in that world.
yeah. The next one we'll perform really well.
Yeah.
We're gonna make a bunch of
I
money.
blame.
Oh,
I
fuck
mean,
yeah,
with what we're
baby.
doing, we're just subject to the damn algorithm. We're
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, dude,
Well,
yeah.
algorithm
slaves
Slaves
to
to
the
the
TikTok
algo.
algorithm of what do they want to push. But yeah,
We
you
constantly
were out
have to-
there literally foot soldiers knocking on doors that you shouldn't have been knocking on.
Yeah.
Can you play my movie? No. All right, we're out of
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Oh, okay, bye.
Get back to the gutter,
Hey, boy.
So it sounds like, at least to me, that having a Netflix movie would be a big budget for production, and you can go in that if you want to. But how do you afford relatively expensive productions for these movies and mockumentaries
Yeah.
and whatnot?
I mean, if you're doing so, I mean, you've basically got a couple routes. If you're doing it independently, right? So that means you have no studio, no network behind you, like it's you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you need to raise money somehow. I mean,
You sell lemonade. What do you do?
You sell lemonade. You sell calendars. There's here we go again, ladies and gentlemen. Here it is. I mean, there's a couple different ways you can try to find private investors. That can be challenging, but can be successful. There's of course crowdfunding that exists. That is, if I was going to crowdfund now, I wouldn't recommend the Kickstarter route. I would recommend platforms like Republic, like WeFunder, where if somebody's giving you $100, they're actually getting equity in
Yeah.
the film. I think those are very valid ways to crowdfund money for a project.
What is that?
like this.
Basically, a little return in your investment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
Kind of like selling shares. It sounds like.
yeah. It's literally what it is. It's you can invest as low as like $100, but when the movie makes money, you will make money,
I love
and it's
that.
all run through those platforms. So
Yep.
like, I wouldn't recommend Kickstarter and stuff. I would recommend those platforms.
Because Kickstarter's is donations. It's just we
It's just
we see what you
donations.
have here, and here
And
we
it's a
want to help
lot
that.
of work
Yeah.
because you're having to commit to DVDs or T-shirts or whatever, and that's all. I mean,
Yep.
I mean,
It's a
you guys
whole
have probably
nother-
experienced that with the calendars to some degree. It's like it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
the fulfillment of them.
The fulfillment.
Falling almost solely on me.
And you may accidentally not budget right for all that crap, which then cuts into your production costs, and it's
Yep.
like, ugh. So I don't really love that model, me personally. But then there is and then the other way, which is what I tell first time filmmakers, is like find the freaking way to do it for nothing.
Yeah.
Find homies that are willing to come out 6 weekends in a row, and you
Ha!
shoot
Good luck.
you shoot it on weekends,
Yeah.
and you just make the movie and you do it, and you're paying for meals.
I guarantee a lot of people
I do that.
like how you were how you were talking about like calling a diner, for example. I feel like a lot of people are down like to be helpful. I feel like some people are reasonable. Obviously, it's not everybody.
Yeah.
But if you're on the horn and you're being if you're actively pursuing shit, like, hey, can we like your location is wonderful, blah blah blah. How can we make this happen?
Yep.
Like that would be cool as a small business owner to see your place be in a production. For
Yep.
example, if you're talking about a setting.
I've got like rules for like the no budget route, which is like make sure everybody's having fun, like make sure it's a good time.
Yeah.
Like don't have people come be working for free and it be a terrible time. Like
Yeah.
if you're gonna do that, make sure it's a fun time.
Like when they're helping you move for free. Yeah.
Exactly. Make it
At
a fun
least have
time.
pizza and beer.
Exactly. And then my second rule is make sure everybody's fed well. Like so don't do the pizza, but do the Chipotle or
Yeah.
whatever. Like or do the home cooked meal for
a
mom.
little bit of effort.
Like a
Yeah.
little bit of effort.
Yep.
And then don't go past 12 hours because that's like a standard kind
That's a
of film
long
set day.
Oh, that's a long fucking
Even
day.
Yeah.
12 hours. That's a long day.
We ain't worked 12 hours.
But-
to
but-
do that.
Phil-
in
but
the
filming-
in the film world though, it's not uncommon. Like film sets can go like 16. Like
Yeah.
it's stupid. And like
Jeez.
so I'm always like, nope. If we hit 12 hours, we're done.
Boom.
Everybody go home. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter what we're doing.
Which I've always assumed because some of these movies like they have to be in makeup for like 2-3 hours, and so
Right.
it's like it takes that long for
Damn.
makeup. They have to be filmed like talking about like the people
Oh yeah,
that are
wasn't
doing
the
full
Grinch
bodies.
like 6 hours a day for makeup?
Yeah,
Or-
and they have to
Yep.
get like
Stupid.
Yeah.
get stuff filmed. So they
I mean,
have to
you're
go, like,
having
16
first
hours.
and second shifts and third shifts, and you're having A unit and B unit and C unit. And so like, yeah, on the big ones where like that stuff comes into play, like there's a lot of moving pieces to make that happen. Cause yeah, now they spend 6 hours in a makeup chair. How many hours can you shoot with them before they got to get back in the makeup chair to take it off?
Right.
You
That's
know,
a
like
whole day right there.
it's crazy. So
I never even considered it that far. Sheesh.
yeah,
I'm
it becomes
just-
a whole thing.
I'm just an overthinker, you know.
I mean, you know, it's very different than sleeping in bunk beds on a reality show, and
Yeah.
you're just being,
Don't remind me.
you know, having voyeurs there the whole time, basically.
Yo, that was
Are
easy.
you interested in making another movie?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's like our current thing. We the most recent thing we did was this renovation competition show. You talked about how to get money. The other route too was we started doing this thing where we would go to brands and basically say, hey, we want to do this thing. You should give us money and we'll use your product in the show, but like strategic.
Yeah.
You know, like it's going to be organic and it's going to be awesome and it's going to be big value for everybody. Like show's called Gutted. It's a renovation competition show. 3 teams compete to renovate a van, an RV, and a bus in 5 days, right? And so one of our clients was a tool company.
Yep.
Because it's a renovation show.
Yep.
They're going to be using tools.
Or they're going to be using tools. Why not have them be a sponsor? And it's big value for the brand because they're in the whole freaking show. 5 episodes, 45 minutes long, almost in every single shot.
Yeah.
And it's not intrusive to the viewer.
It's natural.
It's natural. It's organic. It's not an
They're
ad
getting
break.
advertised.
Ad breaks are totally fine. Love the calendar. We're gonna.
But if you can incorporate it, it's
if
that
you
much
can
more
incorporate it,
effective,
it's super valuable. And then it's great for the production because it's a sponsorship and not an investment. You don't have to pay that back. You just need to make sure that you do the job well, basically for the brand.
That's dope.
That's cool, man.
So we did 2 seasons of that, and now we're ready to make a movie. So.
I feel like now that you have a movie that I feel like you just kind of, not on a whim necessarily, but you had no ambition for it, made a movie that
Yeah.
turned into something incredible, I assume exceeding your expectations, that got on Netflix.
Yeah.
And most importantly for anybody who would want to invest, was profitable.
Yeah.
That it should be, you're only going to move up.
Yeah.
Like this next movie, I can only imagine is going to be 10 times the production of, say, hey, we have proven that we know what we're doing here.
Yep.
Here's me and the homies. We're going to do it big.
Yep.
And is that the
Yeah,
case?
that's the goal. I mean, the goal for sure is raise a lot more money. 5 to 10x more money. Still do it independently. You sacrifice some creative control when you go studio or network, and it's just hard.
Yeah.
Like I talk to a lot of filmmakers, and I'm like, okay, you got an idea. Do you want to wait around for a studio or network to pick it up, or do you just want to try and get it made?
Yeah.
You know.
Especially if you believe in yourself. If
especially
you
you-
believe in yourself, yeah, make it and then
control
figure it
your
out.
own destiny.
Yeah.
Like that's, and maybe that's like the entrepreneurship side of me or something. But
Everything you freaking do is in my opinion, well thought out, creative, and just overall
thanks.
well done.
I
Like,
appreciate
damn.
that.
What's the idea?
Fuck
Do
yeah.
you have an idea?
Yeah. So
Tell me. I'm writing it
okay.
down. So I
All
can
right,
steal
all
it.
right. Okay. It's called the Superb Search for Satoshi. If anybody's in crypto or Bitcoin, then you might know who Satoshi Nakamoto is. They are a real life person that created Bitcoin. But basically, the idea for the movie is there's these-
Allegedly, though, right?
allegedly
Because like nobody has seen him or
nobody
or-
knows.
Yeah,
And
It's
if
a
he ever
weird
comes
thing.
back, then Bitcoin's gonna absolutely tank
Uh-oh.
because
he,
Well, 'cause
he owns like a lot.
he
of
owns like
the-
a million Bitcoins.
which is
There's
like,
like a million Bitcoins.
he
sitting-
comes and
And
just
they're
sell,
worth what, like 30K right now?
Yeah,
40
he's
like
like one of the
40K?
wealthiest people on the planet. If
Yeah.
but those
me get $1.
Bitcoins in the digital wallet have not moved since 2012.
Wow.
So,
So if he comes back and sells them, like the market's just gonna fucking.
it's gonna tank.
Yeah.
It's like nobody wants to talk about that though.
Damn, that's
But the movie's about 4 developers who are helping Satoshi develop Bitcoin in 2008 until one day Satoshi goes missing, like in real life. And through some quick investigation, trying to figure out what happened to Satoshi, they realized that that Satoshi didn't just create Bitcoin, but also created interdimensional travel. And so then these developers go on a crazy journey through universes to find Satoshi and save Bitcoin.
Fucking sign me up.
So-
I got $100 in my wallet right now. That's
Let's
yours,
go.
buddy.
Let's
That's
go,
What's the
baby.
return on
That
that?
sounds incredible because that's like real
Yeah.
life, but a different. You're talking.
sci-fi
It's,
type.
Sci-fi,
it's
yeah.
a fictional take on this person in real life that we don't know who it is. A good,
Oh, the mystery there just is a story waiting to happen.
yeah. A movie that you can that it's similar-esque to is like Midnight in Paris, though.
Yep. Owen Wilson.
where
sorry.
he like goes back in time and
And he meets.
got
He's meeting the artist and a poet. Who does
yeah,
he
it's
meet?
like did he meet Edgar Allan Poe?
He met Picasso. He met who's the rough the rough guy who's known for his poetry, like rough,
Yeah.
manly man. I can't think of his name.
I know what you're talking about, but like it's all fictional,
Yeah.
right? Or the recent Tarantino movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood,
Yep.
which is like a totally fictional version where the Marilyn Manson
Yeah.
dies and all this stuff, right? So it's like in that vein of things where it's like real life people, but
What
like
is that called? There is a name for that. What's that called? Alt history. It's like alternative history. Like
oh, is there a
this.
name?
So it's like I've seen movies about like if Germany had won World War II.
Oh,
And they're
okay.
literally like America is run by the Nazis and stuff like that.
Right,
Like they eventually.
right.
So it's like kind of if things went a little bit different.
right.
Like here's how it goes.
There's a show on Apple TV actually called For All Mankind, where the premise of that is if the Soviets had beat us to the moon,
Yeah.
and what would have
Just interesting to think
happened
about.
if
Wow.
that happened.
Yeah.
So it's a really good show, really
Yeah.
cool. So yeah, I love that stuff, and this is a
Superb
fun
search for
Satoshi.
Satoshi Nakamoto.
Yep, Nakamoto. And
Nakamoto.
I like it because I can do anything.
Yeah.
Like because it's got the universe angle and because it's fictional, it's like we can do anything. Like so I want to like we would incorporate different styles. Like they'd go to an anime world, they'd go to a stop motion world, like and just I can do anything.
That is so tight.
So
Limitless, dude.
The
That's so
ideas
cool.
in this man.
Right. That's
I
telling
could
you, this
literally,
man right here
literally
created-
never.
so
man
That
is
sounds so
creative.
cool and something I would be interested in, but I could not. My brain doesn't function that way.
yeah, so that's like the next that's the one we really want to do. Obviously because it's got like a sci-fi element to it. We need to have more money
Yep.
Yep.
to make it happen. But
Yep.
yeah.
I assume
100%.
because a lot more editing to do the sci-fi
Lot-
type stuff.
Yeah, VFX stuff. That's the international one because like the 4 protagonists are all from different countries. So like one's an American, one's Japanese, one's Argentine. That's a throat. That's a call out.
Hey.
And then one's from the smallest country in the world called Tuvalu.
Yeah.
It's like a population.
Island.
Yep, island. There you
Yeah.
go. And
We're rugby players, so we know about that island. There's
Oh,
rugby
okay.
players out there.
okay. And like the whole reason for that is because Bitcoin's an international thing. So I was like, all the characters should be like international, like showing it's across the world and stuff. So like we would travel, like this would be like the one where we travel a lot,
So,
go
yeah.
shoot in Tokyo a little bit, and maybe go to Tuvalu and shoot.
That is so tight.
So,
That is
yeah.
very cool.
Yeah, good luck raising money for that. That sounds awesome.
yeah. I would love to crowdfund it too because like Bitcoin is supposed to be such a community driven thing, right?
Yeah.
It's like freedom from the banks. That's like the whole reason it exists. So I think it'd be so cool to fund it
Yep.
through a crowdfunded type of way.
With
That's-
Bitcoin.
Yeah.
With
that
with
Yeah,
Bitcoin,
that'd be
seriously,
sick.
I would love
in
that.
the spirit of the damn movie. Yeah,
I would love
that's
that.
incredible.
I would love that. So
Just to keep it a little more applicable to us,
bringing
Oh,
it
Here he goes
back,
again with another one.
A butt cheek question.
have you ever and or would you ever do any OnlyFan productions?
Asking for a friend.
I mean, you're brilliant. Your work is brilliant.
Asking for really good cinematography there.
Here, zoom in on the balls real quick.
From what I understand,
Get this back shot real quick.
everything I understand about OnlyFans, you don't actually need that high level of production
You
quality
don't at
to
all.
succeed over there. You just need a phone, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You are
Completely
exactly right.
unnecessary.
Yeah, moving on. from that.
Probably not. You'd probably lose money on going that high level.
Hey, I don't blame you.
production. Hey.
What if you ever did? Hey,
hit me up.
I just have a few more questions for you, and you guys can chime in if you want. I know you said you're from North Carolina, right?
Yeah, like the Raleigh Durham area.
What the heck are you doing in KC?
So that movie, I came here because Corey and Caleb, who are my buddies, they're from here, and
Ah.
so we shot the whole thing in KC, and because a lot of resources and relationships that you can capitalize on, favors, homies,
Oh yeah.
and then
Relatively.
I had other opportunities pop up that kept me here because I came out here thinking it was going to be pretty short, and then it ended up being a little bit longer.
Because of this?
No, she's from North Carolina too.
Oh,
I
yeah,
brought,
that's
I
right,
brought
that's right,
her
that's
out
right.
here.
Yep.
I brought her out here, and I apologize, Amaris. And so now the plan is like, I mean, we own a house here, so we have so many relationships where we would always, I think we're always going to have a foot here, but we'll probably end up either back in North Carolina or West Coast, depending on life thing.
I was gonna ask that question earlier, but remembered that he had it written down, so I was waiting for him to ask it. But aren't there some things going on with Kansas City with like filming and like some tax laws and things that they're trying to bring more production into Kansas City?
Yeah, Missouri. Well, so Kansas City as a city has its own tax incentive. Okay, it's not huge, but it exists. And it's a good incentive. In case the mayor's office is listening, it's a really good incentive, and you should keep it.
Good job, Q.
Good job.
Come on, Quentin.
And then Missouri as a state has, and this is brand new, has a tax incentive, and it's pretty good, and it's already bringing productions. Like I have a buddy who he's shooting a movie starting January 28th here. It's like, it's like a multi-million-dollar movie, and so they're getting,
that they're doing here just because of that, or was it going to be here anyways?
It's a huge. The tax incentive is one of the core. I mean, it takes. Like the tax incentives really do bring production.
Yeah.
That's how Atlanta even became a thing, is because it's a 30% tax, kickback.
Wow. Yeah.
And so, if you got $1 million movie and you get $300K back, like
a lot of money. It's
lot,
worth making it
it's
happen.
worth
How can we
doing
make
it
it
over
happen
there.
here?
Which I've noticed a lot of productions, like Kansas City is starting to pop up. Like even in the Last of Us, like a big part of it was filmed in Kansas City.
Last of Us, Ted Lasso, that character's from KC, so there's a call out there.
I heard of a Shia LaBeouf movie from here not that long ago.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what it was.
American Honey.
Yeah.
Yeah, American Honey.
I don't know.
And
if
then
that was
even like ASAP Rocky filmed a music video here, and then he liked Kansas City so much, him and Rihanna bought a house off Ward Parkway.
What?
Yeah.
I did not.
I don't think they
know
live here.
that.
They just have a house here if they want to come and stay.
Must be nice to have a house on Ward Parkway
That's
for no
funny.
reason.
But they have a house here.
yeah, they're out of town right now. I'll hit them up when they get back. And see.
Go knock on the door.
We'll just come say hello. Dang, I did not know that. That's really funny. But yeah, it's definitely got a lot of stuff coming to it. And I think there's a lot of potential for the area. As soon as and there's a variety of people working on this, but as soon as like a legit soundstage can be built here, then it'll bring
Which
a lot.
me and Kyle know what that is, but Steven doesn't.
Yeah,
what
explain
is a
it
soundstage?
For me.
Is that a set?
It's okay, Steven. A soundstage is a big old building that is built specifically for film productions.
Okay.
And so the types of things is like it's going to be really well insulated so that audio, is not like you're not hearing outside audio.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to have, like a bunch of stuff on the ceiling to like hang lights, and it's just going to be well built to build sets inside of it.
Okay.
That then makes production really easy.
You got that?
Yeah, I have experience with that, unlike you in Squid Games.
Kansas City doesn't have one of those. Where the dorms was a soundstage. Basically, I heard is the rumor.
Wasn't it like a warehouse? Was it a soundstage or was it like a warehouse?
Red light, green light was a warehouse.
Yeah,
Okay.
It was a war hangar. Huge, dude. Humongous. Not
Yeah.
insulated whatsoever. Incredibly cold. But we went to like an actual like production place.
I think I saw. Is it London? Was it in London?
Mhm.
Yeah, I think I saw the
They got a pretty
production
popular place.
Oh yeah.
So
London.
So Kansas City doesn't have a
Not
at least
not
world
like
class.
soundstage. Not
Yeah.
like a legit one. The closest thing that exists is Strange Music in town.
Tech
That-
9.
Tech 9, baby.
Yeah.
And they've got a facility that is pretty good, but it's not like all the way there.
Yeah.
It's not meant for like large films and stuff.
No,
like that.
I mean they shoot a lot of music videos there. You can build sets there, but like if you wanted to bring $50-60 million movie, it's not.
Yeah. So I think the whole LA thing, I've been seeing a lot of people talk on social media, but actors are now not living in LA; they're living in other places and just flying into film.
Yeah,
like,
I mean you can audition from anywhere now.
Yeah,
like
people are getting
COVID.
played out.
I mean, it was already moving in that direction where you could send self tapes in, but COVID just expedited that. It's just like So
Oh, a positive from COVID. Nice.
yeah, no, it truly,
Mhm.
you can audition, send a tape in, and then I think they're still bringing people in person for like callbacks and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Which is a bit of a bummer because you don't get paid for callbacks. So like if you live in KC, then you got to buy a plane ticket, so you're taking some risk there. But yeah, I mean it's really opened the doors for people to
Good stuff.
I heard a lot of office buildings are like shutting down because,
Oh yeah,
I mean, obviously people can do their job from home and don't need to be in a cubicle,
yeah,
which is
And you
like
get your
kind of
cats,
it's a
you get your
positive and a
dog.
negative. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
and
Take care of your family from home.
Yep, I'm a fan of hybrid. I think I think a little bit of community is good.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know,
Pros and
I think
cons.
I find myself I'm much more productive when I can go into the office and do like coming here and
Yeah.
like if I was sitting at home I would get stuff done, but there's nothing else for me to do while I'm here, so I
Yeah.
might as well just work.
yeah, I same for me too. Being around people that are like minded.
So I'll close it out real quick with a couple more questions. People from Kansas City are proud to be from Kansas City and appreciative for people who put the city on the map. For example, obviously I was on Squid Games, and I was getting comments left, hundreds of comments. Hey, representing KC, putting us on the
Yeah,
map
baby.
again and whatnot. So, do you have any plans? Like, what do you want to do anything for KC? Like,
Yeah, I mean, you know, like that movie, we would love to shoot it here. There's huge benefit. I mean, there's huge benefits, but I do love, you know, what I tell people, especially when they're like, why are you in Kansas City? Is I tell people Kansas City as a city is like a great city. And I think we're seeing
agree.
that through
Mhm.
all the stuff that is happening here. I don't really care about Kansas or Missouri as states.
Right.
Not just because landlocked, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like it's not like awesome weather or anything necessarily. But as far as a city, like Kansas City is a really cool
solid city.
It's a
dude.
solid city. People rep it, people hype it, and I think that's really cool. And so, you know, we through the relationships and through you know, the benefits of being here, like, yeah, we want to do whatever we can to rep the city. I think like as far as small cities go out there and stuff, like, I mean, small, but you know, as far as cities go out there in the States, like this
Yeah,
is
we're a very small, big city.
yeah. This is one that we would love to see continue to grow and be competitive with some of the bigger hubs.
I disagree. I think we're a very big, small city.
Very big, small city.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
Huge surface area. Absolutely massive.
Yeah, I think we're like 5th largest by square mile city in the country or something.
Really?
I looked
Yeah,
up.
because you got the metropolitan goes all the way up to like the north end of Liberty, all the way down to like Leawood, Overland Park. Like,
Dang.
I
Thank
looked
you.
up. I
I
asked.
didn't know that.
I asked Siri what the biggest city in the United States was, and my daughter, when she was 5, she said New York City. She was right. That's the biggest city by land area.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Damn.
She's a geography gangster. That was
There
a
we
lucky
go.
guess.
There we
Yeah,
go.
lucky guess.
It
It's
was
the
a
only one
lucky
she could think
guess.
of.
It's got the biggest buildings. That's
Yeah.
what I would have guessed. What are you working on right now? You got something up your sleeve, don't you?
Yeah. So besides the
Without giving away too much information.
yeah. Besides the next movie, a lot of our time is, you know, we were talking about how we just did this 2 seasons of that show funded through brand deals. And so we basically were trying to figure out how do we do more of that. And we built a platform called Creator Space to not only help, you know, our projects get more brand deals, but like help any creator get brand deals to do creative things. And so it kind of functions like Airbnb, where creators can go on there and they can list whatever they want to do, whether it's just their normal ad rates or their podcast, or they want to make a movie.
Yep.
And then brands can basically shop through all those ideas and that content and like sponsor it right then and there. So like that's like my like big play, you know, like
Mhm.
that's like my big money play basically,
Yep.
where like if we can build something tech related, like okay,
Yes.
we all have like our big dreams. Like my big dream is to like make a bunch of money and then like burn $1 million a year on creative stuff and not care if I make it back.
Yeah.
Like that would be so
Yep.
tight, right? And so that's like my big swing for something like that.
Before
And-
you move on from Creator Space, we often do stuff like for brands that we don't necessarily really give a fuck about or care about.
Yeah.
I believe in this. Creator Space, dude, when you were explaining it to us, I think is 100% like the move. And it's just going to be a matter of you like being able to execute and get it in front of the right people, because the potential is huge. Like I was telling you when we were having breakfast the other day, like when apps like TikTok and Instagram started incorporating what you're coming up with, like loosely and sloppily into their platform,
Yeah.
it's major, dude. This
Yeah.
is big. This is going to revolute, because what you're doing is you're eliminating third parties. No offense, Joe Flowers, love you to death, but like being able to streamline the connection between I'm a content creator, I'm doing this full time, I need to make money,
Yeah.
and
That's our manager.
brands who are now more and more every day seeing the value in the reach that micro influencers have. it's like you're facilitating that connection. It's fucking genius.
I
I really believe
yeah.
there's a lot of shit out that we do that I'm like, whatever. I
I
really
already
believe
told
in
you,
creator space.
This man is
I
well
appreciate
thought
that.
out.
I appreciate
Very
that.
much, dude.
It's a
That's
gangster.
Yeah, I
crazy.
mean,
Bring it back.
I see it. I'm not even joking. Clear as day. Like it's the guy who invented, who started making like the Snapchat filters back in, I don't even know, 2013. Sold the technology for like $20 million. Boom, never heard of him again. I could see that. I could see creator space being the move. Like you play the cards right. Boom, gets bought. It's definitely going to get bought by a bigger company.
That's the goal. But you would continue to hear from me. That would be the goal.
I was about to say,
Yeah.
Wes, do
Yeah.
not leave us when
No.
that
Do the
happens.
creative.
We need you.
You would continue to hear from me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and really, like, you know, being a creator myself, it's been built from that, I would say, angle, you know, because the way we've structured it, I think creators are going to get paid more fairly, especially like on the micro creator end where they're getting offered like $10 to
Yep.
do stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Product.
But I think it's going to, the way that it's structured, if you check it out, it's just going to really enable creators to get paid more fairly with what they're worth, but then also to find sponsors for like their cool ideas.
Yeah.
Because like, you know, if you guys have like a specific skit that you want to do and it's going to cost, you know, $20,000 to do or something like that, well, now you could potentially easily find a brand to do that,
Yep.
right? And creators don't like to sell either. That's the other thing. They want to spend their time doing stuff like this, doing the podcasts, making the content. They don't really want to do the sales part.
Yep.
And so to know like that you just have listings out there on the internet.
And it's so fragmented. The small creators, have no clue what it's worth. You have no clue what your reach is worth. You have no clue what your time to make something, whether it's an ad or the natural incorporation of a product. You have no clue what that's worth. So having a space where it's like, this is the market.
right.
You know you're getting a fair deal.
Right.
That's
Exactly.
gangster. And I think keeping the creator first is the important part.
Yeah.
That there is nothing without them. And I feel like the big players don't understand that, and that's why they lose out on a lot of shits because they don't value that as much as it should be.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Which is like you brought it up that it was kind of like Airbnb, which is what Airbnb did. I only know this because I was doing Airbnb for a while.
Nice.
Was that they had the hosts, the people who were putting their places onto the Airbnb. It was like very host favored. If like there were issues, they favored the host more so than like the people who were paying, because without the host, they don't have the people paying the money.
Right.
And now they have switched to where they're not really worrying about the hosts, and like
They've
now
got
you're
so many properties.
yeah, and you're seeing this swing of people are no longer doing Airbnb. It's honestly it's cheaper to get a hotel now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Unless you're with like a large group of people that can like rent out a big house, it's cheaper to just go get a hotel room.
Almost always cheaper.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
and then you're
absolutely.
getting a lot of things. You don't have to worry about cleaning. You don't have to worry about like all these other things that you do on Airbnb. So like being and now I'm off. I quit doing Airbnb because it was no longer favored in
sure.
for the host.
Oh yeah, I've seen a lot of stories about that where like the hosts. I mean, you know, on the internet, everybody likes to be like, "Oh, Airbnb hosts, screw them," you know, taking over housing. But like, there are times where, you know, it is somebody they just have an extra room, and then the Airbnb just totally screws them because somebody took a dump in their bed or something. You know, it's like, so yeah, I wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah,
I'd
so
always-
I mean, not
I'd
to get
want-
yourself on track, but being creator focused, the people who are like bringing in the business, I
Yeah.
think is the play.
Yeah.
When you stop focusing on that, you don't do as well.
for sure. Totally agree. Absolutely. So
I got a few little quick. I want some quick first thing to come to mind answers.
Okay.
And then I'll ask my final question.
okay.
What's your favorite movie?
La La Land.
Who's your favorite anime character?
Ooh. Levi from Attack on Titan.
Oh,
Oh
fuck,
yeah,
baby.
good answer.
What should be the name of Let's Get Moving's gym?
Ooh.
I'm sorry, the Casey Boys gym.
Let's get peachy.
I like it.
It's not
Oh.
terrible.
Peachy.
Could just call it peachy.
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 I like that.
Like you're
Yeah.
feeling
This
peachy.
man is creative.
Let's get peachy.
Okay. Let the people know who is Wes Elder and what's your message to him.
Wes Elder, my message is to stay creative, and you can check out what I'm doing on creatorspace.app.
Hey,
There
I
we
like
go.
it.
Do the plug. Do the plug.
Dude, this
There you
has
go.
been fun, insightful, and I'm motivated. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah.
Inspired to do more. So
Dude,
thank you
I'm
for that.
inspired. Thank you guys for having me on.
Yeah,
Thank
fuck yeah.
you,
Let me
Wes.
shake your hand.
Oh,
Wes
dude,
the
yeah.
gangster.
We did it on camera.
Fuck yeah, baby.
Love
Bye.
you guys. Go get your sexy mover calendar.
All right,
Love,
bye.
bye.